So if you have a pin on your Apple device, it automatically encrypts it. Because there's no point, Apple thinks there's no point of having a pin if it's not encrypted, because it might as well not be it. And also, Google automatically disables access if there's an important security patch that was released by Apple or Google likeness. They don't have. So it's a 0-day vulnerability when the bug is released. So this is still evolving. It works better on Android devices. You can have two profiles, your personal one and your work profile. So every app that's work related is in just a separate encrypted location on the phone. So browsers do separate, everything separate. Doesn't work as well on iOS. So when you activate it the first time, and I'm sure if this was the case when you first started, there's a scary long list of things that you do. So when you read letters, it'll say allow HappyApp to wipe your phone, access your location data. That is Google accessing your location data, which it does if you have like say maps on it. And administrators in Google cannot see your location. They can't see your I've never had to wipe the device. I've never wiped the back. The nice thing is if you do lose your phone, then we can issue a command to wipe only the HappyApp Google. So that's generally the process. If you leave the company, we will issue that command, and your downloaded Gmail online will disappear. Unify. So we replaced all the unifies. There are segregated VLANs. There's a guest one, code, so you don't have a lot of visitors, but if you do, give them code. And that's completely isolated from the main network. You can't really do anything from there. Then corporate, this is for staff. Corporate allows devices on it to talk to each other. So if you have like a little desktop or a test machine, you can access it. Guest network does not allow it, and the mobile network does not allow it. So you can't ping someone on the same time. And mobile, that's for your phones. So you don't have to log into it with your password. Unified does a nice job of threat detection, so it has heuristic analysis of packets, something suspicious, it locks it. The corporate Wi-Fi, which is HappyApp, authenticates to jump cloud through Radius. So if you click it, there's no key, right? There's no password, but it'll ask you for login. You don't have a password. It's the same as your login.
Set up in the big room.
And actually now we have 100% of folks with a jump cloud account, so we can disable probably over the weekend.
Now that I'm finally on it.
Love it. So now we can finally disable the network that I'm connected to, which is the EC.
Which I haven't actually done yet and connected to the right network. I'm sorry, I have to pull Patrick out of this. We have a Google meeting now. I think it's better that you actually do this, but we'll fill you in after.
It works for me.
Works for you. Brought you a cheese stick if you're interested.
Thank you. Come on.
Yeah, I'll see if maybe I need a driver installed or something like that. Restart everything.
Well, I don't know if it is that. It's a common problem. It works on Andrew. It works on Sean's.
Oh yeah,
But it
okay.
does not work on Andrew's.
That's annoying.
So, who knows?
So, the webpage sent like a. Do you have it up yet?
I do.
Like a running event?
I have a pre-event. Sorry, I'm closing.
That's fine. I was going to say maybe we should load a
Since I
Google
looked at
URL, but we won't. Just load up corp.happyact.com or something.
Sure.
No, I mean when you're doing the demo.
Oh, that's what I was going to load
Yeah,
up.
I figured.
That's what I always load up.
Yeah.
Here, yeah. It's counting down.
Okay, cool.
Ready for it.
Yeah. She invited several other people.
Yeah. Okay.
And-
I didn't know if like you mentioned that the scope had been expanded. I didn't know if like a separate email had been sent.
No. The scope was you were going to show her a quick demo.
Yeah.
The scope is now it's an hour-long meeting, and it has
With other people.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other people on it, and it's explore live streaming. So I'll have my document ready, and like I said, You got my URL for my live stream, right?
So what?
I'm live streaming me right now eating cheese.
I have seen that. Yeah.
Sure, you can use that for your event.
I have Eagles going.
I just want to show the creation of it.
Okay, fine.
Actually, start with mine if you don't mind. Make it more real.
Sure. I'll have to change the end of the event and start a new one, I think, right?
You have to for the demo anyway. I want you to show them from square one.
Okay. I thought you. All right. Cool.
Thought something else?
No, you had written that you wanted to create the URL so we could send it to them, right?
That's what the demo is. Yeah, I want you to demonstrate doing every one of those
Got
things.
it. I thought you wanted me to do that beforehand.
No, just explaining
Pretty
how I
much
want
start
it.
with
Yeah.
that.
Words are difficult.
They are. Also, you turn off the microphone. Yes, I can do that. So.
Yeah, so we'll stop. And what you should run through is from the first screen, create the event.
Yep. Can do. And I'm on their group, so.
Great.
All right. And what's your URL?
I pasted it in Slack.
It's right there. Cool.
There I am.
What is the time delay on you eating cheese?
Yeah, right. It's pretty good. Couple seconds.
About 8 seconds. All right.
All right.
I'll do it.
So do you know how to set the delay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just in the settings.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It won't really matter, but I'm sure they're not going to use YouTube anyway.
I'm just gonna run more before we're
Already, sure.
What? While we're waiting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speed run. I mean, it's no lo-fi hip hop beats, but
Know what?
there's no lo-fi hip hop beats. And correct me if I'm wrong. I did notice this when I was playing around with it.
That's actually true everywhere. I think it's a materialized issue.
Okay. So where's the delay? Sorry? I thought it was right here.
You haven't specified the stream source yet. It's there.
Oh, okay.
And then join existing.
Yeah, join existing YouTube.
And shave.
and then select.
Then it's under
comments.
settings.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Hey Patrick, are you there?
Hey, Patty. Sorry, I was on mute. How's it going?
Okay. The boy.
I'm here with Kyle.
Hi, Patty.
Kyle,
How are you?
how are you?
Good, kind of. It's just the
Well-
the corona scare everywhere has been interesting to deal with.
It is such a good opportunity for you though. Everybody's talking about Tapia and live streaming and what we can do with interactive video now that everybody's working from home.
That is another way to look at it.
Be happy about it. I'm excited.
I was gonna
just
say,
over a training in live streaming like 2 minutes ago, and everybody was super excited.
Oh, okay. This should be an interesting call then.
Great.
Yes, this is like news to everybody. I haven't touched base with Caroline or Chris, but I think they will agree that this is a good idea. And if we could have that training be like modeling how you can use interactive video for a training, and that would be like amazing.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, we'll definitely cover that. Well,
Yeah,
we'll
like-
cover everything we can.
Yeah, especially like what can you do with Happier that you cannot do with obviously Google tools, but other tools that we're looking at. Everything is on the table. Just
Yeah.
So you know. People are talking about WebEx and Adobe Connect and just about every tool that is out there.
Yeah. I started a document with some kind of thoughts. So I figured maybe we'll run through what we have and then we can start talking about what you
Yeah.
need. Yeah, what you need, how you're going to be approaching this.
Yeah, let's wait for Caroline and others to join.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
just that nugget, start thinking about how to demo your product while running this training that I just got approved.
Okay, great.
Sounds awesome.
How was Nashville?
Oh, it was good actually. Yeah, it was a good conference. The weather wasn't very good. It rained the whole time. But that happens.
Yeah. Hi, Kristen.
Hello, how are you?
We're good. Talking about the weather.
Yep. Here, while we're waiting, we might try to set up a camera.
Set up ours, yeah.
Oh, it would be nice to see you.
What do you got with books and
Hold on,
key?
let me do it. Other direction.
Other side.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, our camera hopefully will be coming momentarily. Let's see. Let's find out.
Hello, party people.
Hello.
Hey, great to see you.
Yeah.
Okay, now I have a camera that shows a wall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
that's
here.
it.
It's just a little. We're working on
See
it.
anything, so we turn on the camera and now we see the wall.
Okay.
Okay, that's so much better.
It's not the best angle or wide view here.
What we
so-
got?
Chris,
Hey.
news for you. Like 30 minutes ago, I offered a training from Happy, one of these info sessions in live streaming with Happy Act.
Okay. What do you mean by info session and live streaming?
Like one of your info sessions that we have in the.
The recorded ones we did a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. You want to do more of these?
I wanna do one for the black belt team on live streaming with Happy Act. So.
Okay.
Sorry, it comes as news to you, but it happened like 3 minutes ago, and then I realized that I had this meeting, so I'm sharing with everybody right now.
Okay.
My idea is that we can train people how to use Tapia for live streaming, and at the same time demonstrate how this happens. Hi, Caroline.
Okay.
Hi.
Suppose the camera's that way, not this way anymore.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on such short notice.
purpose of this meeting is to get a refresher on what HapYak has out of the box in terms of supporting live events, and maybe start the process of brainstorming what might be possible in the month or two timeframe. That sound right to everybody?
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect, thank you.
So from our perspective, I'm going to give you a quick preamble just to level set. Patrick is then going to do a demonstration, and then let's just get into kind of the dialogue, the open elements. The preamble, this is probably the least developed part of our product. So just to be clear, we developed it with another partner, so it supported some of their go-to-market efforts. We developed it with two very specific integrations for the live streaming. So we do not provide our own live streaming solution. We have two integrations. One of them is Brightcove, their live streaming, and the other is YouTube Live. So that's what we have. So what we'll demonstrate today is YouTube Live. There is a customized interface, because when you have a live UI, right, you're kind of interacting and what you're doing is different. It was designed for CEO town hall presentations, right? It was designed as presentation software. And specific requirements were around like mobile delivery. Some of the problems that come when you have just a video stream that has a talking head and a slide next to it. We split those two parts out so they can responsively size to be stacked in portrait mode. Things like that, have other type of user interaction controls. So that's why it was put together. So I say that to make clear that the use case of learner and instructor engagement and interaction, that was not the set of requirements that we built this with, but it is absolutely holes that could be filled. So we'll show you YouTube. You'll have a bunch of questions, and I expect they're mainly going to be about those missing pieces of functionality, and that's what we'll talk about. Does that sound good? Does that make sense to everyone?
It does. Can I add something? When we were in Cambridge in October, you showed us something about being able to update the live presentation based on feedback. And I remember that clearly, but if you can show us how that works. If it wasn't part of what you were planning to show, that would be super interesting.
Say that one more time. I just want to make sure I understood the feature you're talking about.
So it was something about being, and maybe clarify for me if this is something that already exists or is in the roadmap. My understanding was that with the functionality that you already have, there is a possibility to update the video during the live streaming with new information during the presentation.
Add new slides and reorder them.
Yeah, I think the answer is yes. In the demo, we'll show you, and either we're going to show it to you or we won't.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, cool.
It's going to be one or the other.
It's good, yeah. Okay, so over to you, Patrick. And sure. I think the demo is going to take about 10 minutes. Just so you know, I'm running a YouTube live stream of me right here. It's the camera from my computer pointing at me. So
let me know when you guys can see. Can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Okay.
We see the screen. Yeah, but we're seeing the tab where we can see ourselves.
Switch to another tab.
So, okay. Can we see this? Can we see our screen here?
Or can you see the studio?
Yeah, the HapYak Studio.
Now we can see HapYak.
Got it. Perfect. So HapYak Live is one of our experience types. These are projects with a little extra functionality, either interacting with the page or between different projects. And the way we're going to go about creating one is just the same as you would create a regular experience like the slide sync, branching, or lesson experience types. but we're just going to select the live option. Now we have turned this on the Google group here, so this is something you'll be able to play around with yourselves after the call, but we'll give it a title, 3/11/2020, and then generate the experience page here. So we'll give that just a minute to set up. And while that's loading, I'm going to go ahead and grab the share URL for the YouTube live stream.
Can you
setup.
hit refresh? Is it still
I-
live?
It's just paused.
Oh, you paused it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So there we go.
Anyway, there's
Let's we'll just refresh and get Kyle in real time there.
there's my live stream.
There he is.
All right.
Now we have here the control screen for the experience. So on that, I can select my stream options. In this case, we're going to join the existing stream that Kyle set up. Again, we have YouTube and Brightcove set up as the default streaming options there. We'll just drop in that YouTube stream URL. It'll also work with an embed code. Excuse me. And then generate the stream code. Now, once that's all set up and we've associated with the live stream over here, we can select settings. So default zoom, you'll see in a moment when the experience loads that it'll start off.
It'll make more sense once we
Yeah,
actually see that. We
yeah,
can get into
fair
settings
enough,
after
fair
we
enough.
see the example.
Loading in, styling, adding tags, social sharing options, header and footer for the landing page if you are using a landing page. A configurable delay. So we can set that right by default. It's set at 3 seconds, correct? And then
That's fine.
move
Let's
that
just
up
keep
to 10.
it. We'll keep it at 3.
We can set a custom message prior to display, prior to the event itself. In this case, Happyack Live event to come. Post message. Thanks for watching. And I've set this experience to start up. Let's have that start at 2:12. Just a couple of minutes here. And then to actually start the event, we'll just drag to start the event there. Now, if I go ahead and share the event, just viewing a landing page.
I think that was the embed that you clicked on. Oh, can you share this URL then?
Yeah, to everyone here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if everyone will just grab this URL, you can actually follow along on the share page that we're viewing here. So I think I actually started the event a little bit too early. I wanted to actually show them the pre-event screen.
I don't think that part's
but
important
yeah.
though.
All right. This is what the pre-event screen would look like. I can have a preview state because I'm the one creating it, but the live event is set to come and there's a countdown to the actual timer. And as you can see here, the video is starting out centered on the landing page. Now, I have 2 general options for...
And maybe just pause for a minute. Were you guys able to load that up?
Sorry?
That was me. I think I didn't. I just muted it. It should be fine now.
Okay. Were you able to load up my live stream there?
Yeah, I was.
Okay. Cool.
Looks great.
Perfect. So there's 2 general places where you can add content to the experience, and that's going to be on the page alongside the video stream or directly on the video. So the first one we'll start with the on page is the add PDF functionality. Now I've gone ahead and separated out some live demo materials here, and I have our nice PDF set up. And then on load, we'll save that PDF, and each individual slide will be added in as its own image file to be pushed live in real time alongside the video. Just give that just a second to load all of the image files there. And I'll go ahead and push our first slide. We'll be able to view that on the active content preview panel here.
Can you make the screen half so we can see
Yeah.
on the right the event and on the left? And the term we use for what's on the left, that's a rundown tool, right? So that's how we refer to it. So on the left, that's the rundown tool. This is what either the presenter would use or the person assisting the presenter would use. On the right is the viewer. Everything makes sense so far? Think you guys are muted still.
Hello?
Yes, yes. This is exactly what I was talking about. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty.
And so this is the primary use case that it was developed for, was slides, right? So it slides, but it gives the end user the ability to resize. So can you demonstrate that control?
I can, but I need to make it just a little bigger. Because I believe that disappears at the side.
Yeah, so some things that you don't get when it's all in the video, right? So responsive sizing I'd mentioned, and then the ability for the viewer to actually decide what they want to zoom in on.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's pretty cool.
Okay.
And on the settings, you can set, that's the first thing I was mentioning there, you can set a default zoom proportion between the two elements. So if you want to start off with the video and then just allow the user to expand at will from there, or you have any other general guiding you want to do to the audience, that's possible as well. Now, in addition to all the slide elements, Patty, I think this is referring to what you had brought up there. You have an option to either reorder, delete, or replace any of the image files in real time, either with an image file that you've uploaded directly or just linked through URL. And that can be adjusted in real time. Kyle, can you just move so we can see that it's real? That can be adjusted as this stream here is swapping around, so you don't have to necessarily stop the entire event to adjust content that's going to be displayed. The other options that we have that I'll bring up here is the ability to load in an iframe, an iframe in a general domain, like I'll do with the HappyAct homepage in just a moment.
And this is really to focus, just like with our on-demand app, right? The ability to create a custom widget is essentially loading something up in an iframe where you can define what that content is. Same concept. So you can say, hey, everybody, I want you to now go to the Google AdWords UI and perform this particular exercise. So then the instructor can just put in the URL. Everyone will get that particular page and be able to go through an activity. Mm-hmm. And if there was a polling widget or some other capability, again, those things are not built in to live. They are built in for on-demand, not built into live. So it'd be the same mechanism. You'd say, okay, well, Kyle, we really want polls. Well, what we'd be talking about is developing a widget that could then be sent via this mechanism.
Yep. So any immediate follow-up questions with the on-page elements here before I move on to the on-video ones?
Yes, so aside from this slide, can you use iframes in other areas of the canvas, or when we're using this, it's the slide and the video and that's it?
So this only supports a layout of left and right. So it doesn't have kind of there's always the content is on the right, the video's on the left. That's the only supported layout currently.
Yeah, that's what I expected. And then I was assuming that the widgets were available for this, and you just said they're not.
Right.
How much work is to make them available in terms of like intensive work and like timeline?
Yes, honestly, that's the unknown part. I haven't tried to bring anyone in to assess that. The widgets themselves, so like the quiz and the poll, or I'll say the quiz is pretty tightly coupled to the on-demand implementation. The poll is actually implemented as a widget on our extension framework, so that's probably a shorter throw.
Yeah.
But what we should do after Patrick gets done showing the other elements is maybe just start making that punch list of real needs, and then I can go back to the team and get you answers.
Let me ask another question. You are using a YouTube video,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yep.
Could we potentially use some of this functionality that YouTube has in this context?
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, with YouTube live streaming, I can add similar kinds of widgets, like for mood or for polling, but I don't know if you lose those when you use this stream.
Yeah, all we're doing in this implementation is the embed of the video itself. So I don't know what YouTube allows to be integrated into another app like this. So the video itself, that's the standard YouTube API, which is why we're able to do it in this way. So again, that would be something that we would have to investigate. I don't know what's possible.
Probably answer is probably not. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, we did. I just last night talked to the guys and we really quickly checked Google Hangouts, right? Like, hey, could we put like a Google Hangouts thing as the video unit and still use the rest of the interface for sending content? What we found though, unfortunately, is that it looks like all of the APIs associated with embedding Google Hangouts were deprecated when the Google Social Network stuff was, so we couldn't actually find anything. And then when we just tried to just iframe it, there were restrictions on embedding, so that didn't work either. So our quick tests to see if a Hangout could be integrated with these other capabilities was negative. So that's what I know right now. Any more questions, or should we move on to the on video part?
Hold on.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I think we can.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
We will continue.
Alrighty. Perfect. So first thing I'll show right before we jump into that, you do have an ability to just wholesale remove content from the on-page segment of the video. You aren't just limited to replacing or deleting that and keeping something on. Now we'll jump over to the on video section. And the three elements that can easily be added to on video are add text. That's a text call to action. It does have on-click linking logic. Image files, which have the same, and then general iframes. Now, unlike the on-page elements, which created a new field over here, the on-video elements are going to be added to one of these 9 fields in this 3x3 grid across the video itself. So first one, we'll go ahead and add a text element. Oh, I can't spell right now. And we'll add that link over to google.com. We've now created a text element that we can push onto the video whenever we're ready. And when you reach the appropriate time, you just select the proper field, push the element, and it will show up in about, I think the delay was set at 3 seconds.
I think we said 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere about there.
So we'll see that in just.
Well, that's when we should see it. I'm not
That's
seeing
when we
it.
should
I'm not
see
seeing
it.
it. It should have showed up.
It showed up in mine and it worked.
Oh, did it?
It did.
Oh, look at your preview event state. I think. Yeah. Can you just load up the same URL you sent to them?
This is the one I sent to them.
I'm seeing it as well. It just might not be in the
It's not us seeing it for some reason.
I think it's
cool.
yeah. I think it's because Patrick, you're in a different state as the presenter.
Yep. Okay. Never mind. Kyle was absolutely correct there. Sorry about that, everybody.
That's always me, yeah.
Hey, it wouldn't be a demo of live functionality without a couple.
Yeah. So the things that are different, it's just in very specific positions. But again, it's an image, it's text, or it's an iframe, meaning it can be a widget of any type. But again, it's all sort of open container content, not with the existing widgets that are available for on demand. But you can have then the combination of things near the video and things on the video. So that spectrum is supported.
And then image files similarly are shareable along the same grid. They can also hold linking logic. We'll load right there and then push to the third field here. and we can see the image files there. And the images have the same capabilities and restrictions that image files for the on-demand tool have. So file formats, transparencies, moving thumbnails, all those are fair game. All right. So similar to the on-page elements, you have the delete, replace, and push options. Instead of a single remove button for the active content section, you just remove each one individually with the X. There we go. And proceed throughout the video. You can also upload an iframe. I don't think I have an appropriate iframe.
I just throw in Happy again.
Yeah.
It's not a great one.
There we go. We'll load in Happyak, push that element right there, and it should iframe into the field available there. Give that. Oh. Maybe not this time.
Yeah, maybe your presenter state. So I think we can probably pause.
There we go. There it
Yeah,
is.
I can see it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you guys are getting the updates. Has to do with our state.
I just have to refresh the video each time because I am the presenter.
Okay, so we'll pause there. So I started with what we can't do. This that Patrick demonstrated is what we can do. I think I'll just maybe kick off the conversation with two things. I think the gaps in probably what you need is you actually need video streaming, which is not YouTube. So you need some solution for streaming, which you can utilize, which is different than what we have. And then there's a set of capabilities which would be needed in order to make this effective. So I think I'll shut up and maybe throw it back to you guys then.
So just to be fully sure, what you showed us is available right now with the license that we have or not?
Yes, it is. It's available. It's enabled on your account. You can use it right now.
Yeah, we turned that on this morning.
This is what I remember and what I find really exciting and useful. And it's not the ideal state, but it is a really interesting solution for us right now.
Awesome. That's a good place to start.
And that's what I have to say. I'll leave Caroline and Kristen ask questions.
I think you're on mute.
I just forwarded to everybody a discussion thread that's been going on this morning about streaming video in Hangouts, and it has instructions on how to turn your Hangout into a stream. Did you guys
Wonderful.
forward that?
Yeah, we both have it open right now.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I was like, wait, I think there was something. And so I was like, multitasking. Kristen, I may have left you out. Let me add you.
Maybe we just didn't know the right path forward for that, then.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's Shayna who's on our team that had answered the thread.
Yeah, I don't know Shayna, but I should say
Oh, yeah,
that. Sure.
She was on our team for a little while.
Cool. Oh, she's not anymore?
Yeah, she's not. But Kyle, you said you weren't able to integrate Hangouts because of the deprecated APIs.
Right,
Ye-
but did he try it this way?
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's a different way to get there. I see.
Yeah. If it's a stream, then it may have the APIs we're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, it may.
So that's one.
Yeah, I'm just clicking on the links right now. So I want to okay, so add streaming to your event. This is just talking about using a regular Google Hangouts, right? Click add live stream link appears. Okay, so yeah, I think we'll have to go through this. So if this does expose kind of the direct stream access, it's probably means you can do the streaming, but you lose all of the awesome features of Google Hangouts. So the chat. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. But I think that's true. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I think next step is to explore what it does and what would embed.
Yeah.
If I feel like Hangout's going to break down after 20 people anyway. I mean, just in terms of like, you know, the awesome features of like right now, I can see all 4 of you or
Yeah.
all 5 of you with 4 different windows, and it's awesome. But once you have 20 participants, you see 3 people, they don't even change.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I see I don't know that we can use YouTube Live for any of our stuff. I don't know that, I'm pretty sure we can't use Brightcove. So this would, I think, purely be a mechanism for streaming. And like, we would just assume that the other Meet Hangouts functionality would be lost to gain the advantages of this. You know, that's
Okay. Yeah, so I guess some of the unknowns would be if we grab that stream URL, like we see the grid of 4 people, I don't know if we'll have one stream, which is the 4 people, or if it is intelligently selecting. So that path would be finding out. And then if it could integrate that way, then we would need to integrate the stream with our video player, which we haven't done because we use the Brightcove when it's not YouTube. So we'd have to do that. Yeah, and then figure out what we actually get and if it's useful, right? For the points you were just making. Another thing that we thought internally is, you know, a lot of the infrastructure that was approved when we went through our security review, we're relying on Amazon Media Services. So that would be another path. We could explore implementing so we can trigger and do a secure stream via that mechanism, because it's the existing solution stack and just be exposing another one of those services. So that'd be another thing we could explore if you guys, you know, wanted to push on it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know whether that would be like a new VSA. Let's start with seeing if we can use Hangout streaming.
Yeah, okay.
And then let's hold off on the Amazon piece. Is that, you know, if you scroll down your thread, you'll see that everybody is asking about every other tool out there.
Yeah.
And and under normal conditions, the answer is no. I don't know if things are not normal conditions, someone needs to figure that out. But I think that this could, assuming that the answer to all the pre-built tools is no, this is very exciting.
Yep.
But it'd be more exciting if we could use the Hangout streaming, because otherwise it's like, well, if we're using Amazon streaming, why is that any different than using WebEx or Zoom?
Fair. Yep.
well, yeah.
It's a different discussion mode to be in. Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of the features that would potentially make this valuable and viable, do you guys have a list? Like I have a few things, but do you have a good sense of what they are?
I would say we're not at a list point, but we probably between the 3 of us have a bunch of them in our head.
Yeah.
But we
Okay.
certainly don't have a nice curated backlog of what we want. But I can tell you that there's 2 things I'm hearing a lot. One is polls,
Yep.
quizzes. I think that whether or not it's the right answer is probably unimportant if it's live, right? You can discuss the answer with people, you don't need to keep score.
Sure.
And the other is raising your hand.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Those are both on our list.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I had chat,
Yeah.
right? Which again is you take for granted because it's everywhere. But if it's a new thing, you know, it's not part of the stack we showed. So chat, polls, raise hand, and then something for co-browse. So we kind of were working on an assumption that part of, you know, classroom training, what's valuable about it is if you have 20 people and 1 or 2 of them are having an issue on an exercise, then someone can come over and say, oh, you're on the wrong URL or you clicked on the wrong thing. So our thought was on our iframe widget that we could extend that so the instructor could say, hey, go do this activity, but then there could be an action panel to instantly send the presenter a screenshot or maybe allow a quick co-browse session. So it would be similar to looking over someone's shoulder in person. So that was the third thing that we kind of came up with, like, how do you really replicate what's effective without disrupting the 20 other people, right?
Right. That's cool. How fast is that? That sounds hard.
Not necessarily. We have a lot of those pieces we've built for the new tools that we have in development. Co-browsing a little more so, but the ability where you could just have an individual channel to share, this is what I see right now,
Cool.
might be a smaller scope.
I don't understand the co-browsing. Do you mind explaining that with an example?
Yeah, and honestly, it'd probably be better that I send a doc with kind of a picture concept would explain it.
Yeah, thank you, because it sounds intriguing, but I don't understand it.
So what I'm happy to do is share an internal doc just where we add some thoughts to list out, here are the things that would have to be checked and the key features with hopefully a good description that everyone can say, yes, this is key, or no, this isn't key. But I can do that this afternoon and send it to you guys. And then I guess just some guidance on the process from your perspective. Like you said, there are a lot of technologies out there and a lot of discussion. I want to make sure that we don't invest too much effort in a process where you guys are going to immediately say, nope, we're just going to use Zoom or whatever, or WebEx.
Yes, you're right. And we're in like full exploration phase right now.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess what's your guidance for us? What's the best way to kind of move through the period where it's evolving rapidly and you need information?
I think the question is whether we can make this Hangout streams work is
Okay.
huge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really good. I think that's where this decision to even use it is going
I
to
agree, yeah.
Otherwise, we have to go through a whole other set of processes
Got it.
to get like other streaming figured out, which could be a nightmare for us.
Got it. Okay, so that's top of the list, viability. Let's just try to get an answer to that real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
We can do that.
If you wanted to think about if the answer to that is yes, the follow-on question is going to be how much and how fast for polls and hand raising.
Yeah. Yep. How fast and how much are definitely related. So you're thinking. So we're thinking about it in the right way. So okay, that's good. So, I mean, I hear an action item for myself. I can immediately talk to the team. We'll try to follow those instructions and then talk about either what worked, what didn't, but I can try to move on that pretty quickly, and we'll know if there's a step 2 or not.
Right.
Great.
Okay.
Carolyn and Patty, for us, maybe Patty, I know you have your finger on the pulse, and Carolyn, I know we're talking in laps about like needs for the team. Maybe we can sync up and put together, later this week and get together and kind of like update each other on what's happening with all the other video and interactive stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think we're gonna have a lot of requests coming our way.
You're going to be busy.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much. This was super useful.
Great.
Yeah, super awesome.
Awesome.
Great. Thanks for joining. Well, I'll be in touch in email very shortly.
Talk to you guys soon.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Cool.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
I'm going to go grab Berno and Will.
I'm gonna go to breakup.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, we'll be finished before 3. Like.
Yeah. Nice.